Mahomes turning around on that one play. Let's talk some Bills-Jags. The prognosticator of prognosticator, Monsieur Kevin Wildes, put Buffalo on upset alert, and Buffalo was upset. How about that? In the battle of Josh Allen versus Josh Allen, Josh Allen picked off and sacked Josh Allen and had a fumble recovery. Good for Josh Allen. Buffalo only half a game up on those pesky Patriots now, thanks to Josh Allen. Nick, you have been telling us to pump the brakes on Josh Allen. You haven't said much about Josh Allen. Do we need to reevaluate Josh Allen and the Bills after Sunday's upset loss in Jacksonville? Josh Allen?
I think so. I mean, listen, they are great at kicking the crap out of bad teams. At least they used to be. Because last week it was 17-11 in the fourth quarter against Miami. It was 3-3 at the half. And this week they lost to the Jags. Their wins this year have come against Miami twice, Washington, Houston, and their one good win is against Kansas City. That's an unacceptable loss. And this whole idea of, well, it's not Josh Allen's fault. Okay, yesterday definitely was. Defense held the Jags to 9 points and they lost. And on the season, someone explained to me, Wildes, how is that the overwhelming favorite to win MVP? He's outside of the top 10 in more categories than he's in the top 10. In what universe is he the league MVP? In what universe is he even? Right now, he's still huge favorite. I can't conceptualize how that's true. And that is a terrible loss, Wildes, for the Bills. Unacceptable loss. Well, right now, he's a huge favorite in Vegas. He's plus 250.
Still?
Brady's plus 450. He's the huge favorite this morning.
Oh, no.
Yes.
What in the world? Okay, it's going to be Brady. So here's the thing, Greg. I said that I put the Bills on upset alert because they played so curiously against the Dolphins. So what's the deal with this team, especially coming after a bye at home? Their offensive line was also scrambled. So if they do get the offensive line back, I guess they're going to be a lot better. But they also proved here that they have no offensive line depth, that the Jaguars can do anything they want if you lose a few guys, which remind me a little bit, and this is not a shot at the Chiefs, but if they do get it together and then they lose a guy, maybe it'll look like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So they need to figure out what they're doing at offensive line, because once you lose this game, that you are 14.5, I think it went up to 15 at one point favorites. Bad loss for Josh Allen and the Bills.
Yeah, this was a bad loss, and Nick, I am on board. I am on board. We do need to pump the brakes on Josh Allen and let this continue to play out, because from what we've seen from the start of the season, it's been a roller coaster. 1 week he's going to not throw you an interception. The next week he's going to throw you one. And it's on and on and on. You cannot be an elite quarterback doing that every single week, putting your team in jeopardy and giving the ball back to your opponent. And Josh Allen has done that this year. And we are expecting him to have grown out of that after seeing what he did last year. And so when we look at that and we see, okay, now they can run the ball. Well, that was a facade, because they really don't run the ball. And it's all about Josh Allen.
They don't run the ball.
Can you win this game for us?
Right.
They don't, Jenna. They don't. And so for me, if we're just making this about Josh Allen, yeah, we need to pump the brakes, because I don't think he can handle as much as they're putting on his plate.
That's exactly. Bill Cowher said that after the game. They're not running the ball. They're asking Josh Allen to do just way too much in the game. But a break for the Bills next week. They get the Jets. Might have liked. So the updated AFC West standings look like this. Oh, look at that. All four teams in the division over 500 through 9 weeks. Nick, Patrick Mahomes would say after the game, I feel like we're close to putting it all together. Were you more encouraged or discouraged by the Chiefs' performance in their 13-7 win over the Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers?
All right, well, Jenna, travel with me on this journey, because this was quite the journey of a football game for me. Because if you would have talked to me, contacted me, reached out at any time during the game, you would have seen despair and depression on my face, because it didn't matter to me that the defense truly does seem to have turned a corner over the last month. Didn't matter to me that the offense finally had stopped turning the ball over, and that the penalties finally were not just ruining the team. None of it mattered, because what makes the Chiefs great is Patrick Mahomes, and I was watching someone else play quarterback. Something had happened to Mahomes early in the Titans game, some body snatching situation. Oh. And he was bad in that game. He was bad last week. And he was awful, truly awful for the vast majority of this game. And I was despondent. But then there was the moment. And you saw it. We just showed it to you. Wild saw it. Greg Jennings saw it. And that final play, guess what? That was Patrick Mahomes getting back to being Patrick Mahomes. Roll out to your right. Oh, do one of those throws that Kevin Wildes was cautioning him against. Oh, we need better mechanics. Make sure you twist your hips properly and play. No. Go do that. And that, my friends, is how you get over the yips. That, my friends, is how you snap out of a slump. Oddly enough, I was listening, Greg, to Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee. Not the interview you're thinking of, the interview he did right before we found out he had COVID. And he was asked about Mahomes' slump. And he said, you know what, quarterbacks absolutely can get yips. And sometimes it takes a game, sometimes it takes a drive. Sometimes, there's Rodgers' words, it takes one play to get back to being yourself. And that, my friends, is Patrick Mahomes back to being himself. So I'm encouraged now. Defense getting better. Cut down on the turnovers. And if Mahomes can get back to who he was, not 2 years ago, Greg, not 16 months ago, who he was 4 weeks ago, this division is Kansas City's for the taking. So I am incredibly encouraged because of that moment right there, after 59 minutes of despair.
Well, Nick, I hear you. And I knew you were going to get to the moments of being encouraged and excited, but I'm discouraged for all the reasons you said on the front end. What jumps off the page when we watch this team is their greatest asset is become their greatest weakness, and that's Patrick Mahomes. We understand he has a big arm. He understands he has a big arm, and it's because of his big arm. That's the reason why they look so drastically different offensively. Now, the 3rd and 10, great throw, great rollout. I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they understood what he's most comfortable doing, and they did that. And they were able to hang their hat and salvage a game because of that. However, when you go through this game from start to finish, the miscues, not only in the throwing, but the reads, his inability to just throw to the open receiver. We saw Travis Kelce in the